Hey, what's up, guys? So I have here today an East Indian mango. This is from my friend Ed. He's got a couple of trees in his yard here in Central Florida. He's in the Winter Park area, and when he bought the house, there were two mango trees on it, and he um, he didn't even know there were mango trees until a few years later. He started seeing mango fruit, and then this entire time up until he met me, he was picking them incorrectly. So he was picking them when they were like extremely green. Um, um, so thanks to myself and all of my mango knowledge, he's now eating much better mangoes. Isn't that right, Ed? So, anyways, let's get into this East Indian mango and see uh, what it tastes like. East Indian is Jamaican mango, despite the name East Indian. Um, they think that it's probably a seed from India, possibly, that was planted in Jamaica and grown there. So you can hear the fibers as I cut through this. It's an extremely fibrous mango. So if you don't like fibers, this would not be the mango for you, but there's a little blemish there, so we're just gonna avoid it. I'm gonna take a little smell. This mango is like extremely resinous, like one of the most resinous mangoes in aroma, at least. You can smell like sweetness underlying the resin, but the resin is the first thing that jumps out at you. And when I say resin, a lot of people ask me what I mean by it. It's kind of like this pine, like a pine tree, like kind of like how that piney smell. It's present in some mangoes. Some people actually like absolutely hate it. Some people are different about it. I personally really like it. It can be a little overpowering at times if it doesn't have like the sweetness to complement it. But if it's sweet and piney, it's usually really good in my opinion. Definitely has some fibers, but this mango, for as many fibers as it has, it's got even more in the form of flavor. It's extremely sweet. I would say 8.5, 9 out of 10 in the sweetness scale. It's extremely resinous. I don't usually rate resin on a scale, but if 0 was no resin and 10 was the most resinous mango I've ever had, this probably lies like in that 8 range. It's an 8 on the resin scale. And usually when I say the most resinous mango that I've had, it's usually one that was picked that already has resin, but was also picked a little bit early. So that resin flavor is almost unpleasant because it doesn't quite have the sweetness yet. This I would say is like an 8 on that scale, but it also has a lot of sweetness. So it's really good. It definitely has that like classic Indian profile, like that Indian spice. And sorry if that's nasty, but if you don't like fibers, you're gonna hate this mango. I personally don't mind these type of fibers. Yes, they stick to your teeth, but I mean, to me, the flavor of the mango is worth it. I'll just get a toothpick and pick them out afterwards. I don't mind. The one type of mango that has fibers that I don't enjoy is, I don't actually know of any like known varieties that have this, but I've had seedlings that have it, and the fibers are almost like hair, in that like this fiber, I can chew it and break it in half. The hairs, like the really long hairs that some mangoes have, like you can't even chew through them. Those I don't really care for, but this is good. The flavor on this is so good that I'll put up with the fibers all day long. I've heard of some people having this East Indian mango as a juice mango because they don't like the fiber, so they just squeeze it and take all the juice out of it. And I'm sure it's a delicious juice, but I want that flesh and that fiber. I think it's good. It almost has a little bit of pepperiness in the mouth. And the flavor is just very spicy, very, very spicy. You know your friend really loves you when he gives you the last 2 East Indians on his tree. That has another tree, which we think might be Nam Doc Mai, but they're actually still hanging on the tree. So we're going to taste those once they're ready. This is such a good mango. I've been thinking of like coming up with like a more formal rating system. So I would say you get 2 points, you can up to 2 points for sweetness, up to 2 points for fiber, 2 points for complexity, etc. But I'm still thinking about like how exactly to formulate it to where it's fair, because like in my opinion, flavor and sweetness, but again, this is preference, you know. Like for example, my wife doesn't really care for super sweet mangoes, but in my opinion, like flavor and sweetness are the 2 most important things. Fiber and texture are important, but they're I don't give them as much merit as flavor. But there's some people who prioritize fiber. You know, they really don't like fiber in their mango, so it's much more important to them. So trying to come up with a system that's kind of like fair for more people is difficult. But that goes with anything. When you're trying something, like, it tastes is subjective. Eric, bro, it's a shame you didn't get to try these, but next year, I know you're not big into mangoes, but I mean, sorry, big into fibers, but this mango's got flavor for days. Eric, by the way, for those of you watching besides him, is a good friend of mine. So him, Ed, and myself have kind of embarked on this mango journey. This is part of the reason I'm doing these videos, is just to share with them. As you can see, ton of fibers. They get a lot hairier near the seed. That's common in a lot of mangoes, even ones that are fiberless. The fibers get more hair-like near the seed, but I don't care. It's worth it. It flavors one of the best tasting mangoes, without a doubt. That, as you can see, so good. Like, I'm tempted to like even eat the bad spots. It's so good. I can eat a lot of that. I also grew up in Miami eating like a lot of mangoes from people's backyards that were seedlings, and a lot of them had fiber, and so I'm just used to it. You know, I think I want to say, like, I probably was like 12 or 13 before I had a mango that didn't have fiber in. You know, fibers to me is almost normal in mangoes. So East Indian, super high on the sweetness scale, super complex flavor, spice and resin and other stuff going on there too. Peppery. It's obviously not great on the fiber scale, like 1 being, you know, the worst and 10 being the best. It's probably like a 3, you know, on the fiber scale, a 4 maybe. But you'd be hard pressed to find a more fibrous mango. I know they're out there, that's why I give it a 3 or a 4. But the flavor is totally worth it. Try an East Indian if you ever get a chance. And if you have a friend like Ed that hooks you up, you're super lucky like me. All right, y'all.